We all know someone like this. Maybe it's a friend who always seems to have a slight headache on a Friday night. Maybe it's the coworker who quietly slips out of the office party before the cake is even cut. Or, perhaps, that person is you. In a culture that romanticizes living your best life through constant travel, social events, and loud experiences, people who prefer to stay home are often slapped with a label: boring. Society treats staying home as a sign of laziness, social anxiety, or a lack of ambition. But if you look beneath the surface of the homebody lifestyle, you'll find a fascinating psychological profile. They aren't necessarily hiding from the world. They are protecting something the world is trying to take away. Today, we're decoding the silent psychology of those who find their greatest joy within four walls, and why science suggests this isn't a personality flaw, but a highly calibrated survival strategy. To understand why some people thrive in solitude, we have to look at the brain's reward system. For extroverts, social stimulation acts like a fuel. They have a higher threshold for dopamine, meaning they need a lot of external input noise. People, novelty to feel level. But for the natural homebody, the hardware is wired differently. Psychologists often refer to this as low stimulation preference. Research in neurobiology suggests that introverted individuals are more sensitive to dopamine. For them, a crowded bar isn't fun, it's a sensory overload. Their brains are already running at a high baseline of internal activity. Staying home isn't about doing nothing. It's about maintaining a mental state where the brain can actually function, without being drowned out by the noise of the outside world. There is a fundamental concept in psychology called the Yerkes-Dodson law, or the Optimal Arousal Theory. It suggests that every human has a sweet spot of stimulation where they feel most productive and happy. If you have too little stimulation, you're bored. If you have too much, you're anxious. The high EQ homebody often has a very narrow sweet spot. Because they process information deeply, they reach their peak stimulation level very quickly. A quiet room with a book might put them at a 10 out of 10 on the happiness scale. A loud concert might push them to a 15, which the brain registers as stress, not joy. When a homebody cancels plans, they aren't flaking. They are performing a self-assessment of their nervous system and realizing they've already hit their limit for the day. For many, the love of home is actually a love of control. Outside your front door, the world is unpredictable. Traffic, rude strangers, weather changes, and social obligations are variables you cannot manage. For an anxious or highly analytical mind, this lack of control is exhausting. At home, you are the architect. You control the lighting, the temperature, the volume, and most importantly, the social gate. Psychologists find that the home serves as a psychological anchor. It is the one place where the external world cannot force its agenda on you. By staying home, you are choosing a predictable environment that allows your prefrontal cortex to finally rest. There is a common misconception that homebodies are unproductive. In reality, many of the world's most creative and scientific breakthroughs happened in isolation. Solitude is the laboratory of the mind. When you remove the pressure of social performance, your brain enters what is called the default mode network. This is the state where the brain connects unrelated ideas and solves complex problems. People who love staying home often have an incredibly rich inner world. They don't need the world to entertain them because their own thoughts are interesting enough. They aren't lonely. They are in good company with themselves. However, we must address an important distinction. There is a difference between staying home because it fills you up and staying home because you're afraid to leave. If you stay home to recharge your battery, that is strategic solitude. It is healthy and necessary. But if you stay home because the thought of the world causes you physical dread, or because you feel you don't belong anywhere else, that is avoidant behavior. One is an act of love for oneself. The other is a response to fear. It's important to ask yourself, is your home a sanctuary, or is it a cage? A sanctuary has an open door that you choose not to use. A cage feels like you couldn't leave, even if you wanted to. If you're the person who prefers the quiet corner to the center stage, stop apologizing for it. You aren't missing out on life. You are experiencing it at a different resolution. While the rest of the world is rushing to the next big event, you are finding depth in the small rituals: the morning coffee, the sunset through the window, the peace of a silent room. Being a homebody isn't a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you have found a way to thrive in a world that is designed to keep you distracted. You have mastered the rarest skill of the 21st century, the ability to be still. If this video made you feel a little less weird about your love for staying in, let us know in the comments. What is your favorite part of your home sanctuary? And if you want to keep decoding the hidden logic of the human mind, subscribe to Psychology, Decoded, Mind Mastered, Life Decoded. We'll see you at home.